Right, so tonight's Warriors game, game 5 against the Grizzlies in the conference semifinals, was probably the worst Warriors performance I have seen in a very long time, possibly ever. As the Warriors lost by 134 to 95, 39-point loss. At times in this game, they were losing by over 50 points. They just looked disinterested in this game. And, it's weird because they really had no reason to be, right? This game was important. The Warriors had the opportunity to close out the series without having to head back home. And I think, the Warriors will probably play better in game 6 when they're at home. But I think they should have, at least tried a lot more. Draymond Green in this game was a big problem. He kept turning the ball over. The Warriors in this game had way too many turnovers. They had 22 turnovers. The Grizzlies, in comparison, only had 9. The Warriors' leading scorer was Klay Thompson, only had 19 points. Even Jordan Poole didn't even have a very good game. He only had 3 points. Kuminga had 17 points. And, the Warriors were without Steve Kerr. Mike Brown was coaching. And I don't like him as our starting head coach at all. Even though he's filling in, it's just he did not set the lineups well. The Grizzlies, of course, they're without Ja Morant for the entirety of this playoffs. If they, we don't know how long they'll, survive, but they don't have Ja, and they somehow play better without him. They had a very good game from Tyus Jones, 21 for him and 21 from Bane, 21 from Jaren Jackson Jr. The Warriors in this game, I think the smarter move would have been to start Otto Porter Jr., but that didn't happen. And Porter ended up having an injury that hopefully he'll recover from. He historically has had a lot of injuries in his career, so hopefully he's okay. But this Warriors game was, just utterly embarrassing, right? The Warriors, they played okay. The only time they really played good was at the beginning of the game. They came back from like a 7-point deficit, and Curry was hitting some nice threes. But at a certain point, Mike Brown just, kind of took the foot off the gas and took all of them out. And, I think it was good to not play them at the end, but the Warriors had shown that they'd given up. They truly had given up in this game. And the Grizzlies, I got to give it to them. They wanted this game, and I don't blame them. They had to stay alive. They've had a very good season. They're without their best player. The Grizzlies played confident. The Warriors didn't. I think that's sort of the difference between winning and losing in basketball. It's like which teams can handle the pressure, which teams can play good under pressure, and be confident. And that was the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies rebounded well. They shot well. They played defense well. They had Steven Adams on the boards. The Warriors couldn't get rebounds to save their lives. Draymond Green was turning the ball over. Poole was turning the ball over. The Grizzlies defense just swarmed the Warriors. And I hate to say it, but I don't know how confident I am about this series. Now, I think the Warriors probably will win the series, but I don't want to jump to conclusions right now. This series, I feel like it's shifting its momentum. If the Warriors had lost by 10 points in this game, I wouldn't really be that mad. But the fact that we were down by over 50 points at certain times in this game, and the only reason we didn't lose by 50 points is because the Grizzlies took out their starters at the end of the game, and the Warriors were actually trying. It was just very bad. It was very, very bad. This was an utterly embarrassing, horrible performance from the Warriors. I can't make excuses for them. They have bad games, but they never really have games this bad. And I hope Steve Kerr can return because, like I said, Mike Brown just isn't a very good starting head coach. I respect his assistant coach experience, but he did not play good. And the Grizzlies in this game erupted for 42 points in the third period, in the third quarter, rather. And they, were already up by 27 at halftime, so that put them up by even more. And, the Warriors just couldn't find their shot. I respect that they have bad games, but I think this was, definitely over the limit. I hope the Warriors can capitalize off this and learn from this because it takes games like this for them to rebound, so to speak, and play better in their next ones. But they got crushed. And I think, games like this make me fear that we are not a finals team. Whether or not that's true, I think the Warriors have a lot of things to fix. And they need to play better, not only in the series, but if we win this series, in the next series, because even in the, although we were up 3-1 going into this, I can speak on behalf of a lot of Warriors fans that we were not completely confident. The games we won, except for that one where we won by 30 points, were not super convincing. So yeah, the Warriors lose 134 to 95. Very embarrassing game. And we will play game 6 on Friday. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys later. And yeah, peace out. Go Warriors.